welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Pioneer, a format I have not played in many months, and I'm excited to try it again. This deck is from Patreon subscriber Something Snazzy, and it's a bit of a brew built around Monumental Endurance. 3-mana artifact. Whenever you discard a card, choose one that has not been chosen this turn. Draw a card, create a treasure, each opponent loses 3 life. This card had a bunch of excitement buzzing around it on the Aether Drift preview season. It is a card that commands like a $5 or $8 price tag. Like it's not bulk. Commander players love it. And it makes a lot of sense in a deck that is trying to loot for fun and profit anyway. The other core of this deck is Rona, Herald of Invasion. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, untap Rona, tap, draw a card, discard a card, and for 5 mana plus a Phyrexian black, she could become this 5/5 Tellurian Obliterator. So tap Rona, trigger Monumental Endurance, whatever makes the most sense for you. Something Snazzy has instructed me, generally you want to be burning them first. Getting the game won with the Monumental Endurance, he has found works out better than trying to outvalue or just get a big mana advantage. But, you know, we'll play it by context. But, okay, so you loot with Rona, do one of these things. Cast Prophecytic Memory. That is a legend that untaps Rona. Then you draw a card. Then you tap Rona. Do another one of these things. Get a treasure token. Maybe use it to cast Skrelv or Malcolm. Untaps Rona. Then you get the draw card. And then Prophecytic Memory puts 4+1 counters on the Rona. These engines kick in. The Monumental Endurance, the Prophecytic Memory. There's 7 massive payoffs. There are 12 big enablers. Malcolm being the worst, Rona being the best, Kiora somewhere in the middle. 3 steps ahead is a counterspell that can also draw 2, discard 1. That could trigger the monument on the opponent's turn. And even the middle mode. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature control. Copy Monument to Endurance. Off we go. And spells resolve in the order of the effects on them. If you do spree a 3 steps ahead to copy target artifact or creature control, and then also draw 2, discard, that will trigger the new monument as well. This is a tempo deck that can play like a combo deck. I love a blue tempo deck, a blue base tempo deck. Little Delver of Secrets analog in Pioneer. Let's try it out. This is Legendary Monument from Something Snazzy. I'm on the play in round number 1. I'm going to keep my hand. There's plenty to do here. Just start with a Hallowed Fountain and pass. This is kind of fun because Blue-White Control is a top deck in Pioneer. And if my opponent thinks that's what I'm doing, that could get me some value for a little while. So I could get this Llanowar Elves Lost, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to get Malcolm going and then decide what else is happening. No attack, no play with Llanowar Elves. I wonder if they're playing around the Blue-White Mana Leak, whatever that's called. No More Lies. Did we get them, or do they have some sort of flash threat of their own? Something's happening in my upkeep. The Doctor Owner. Okay, so they're going to own Malcolm here. That's fine. Okay. Mox Amber lets me do 2 things this turn. If 2 things is what I want to do this turn. I could play Kiora, loot. If it hits a creature, helping hand the creature. Right, I'm going to play Amber and Kiora in that order. Save my land drop. Skrelv. Okay, so I can help Skrelv back if I care. I can discard Hallowed Fountain here. And I feel like Get Lost is going to be useful. I could literally just cast Skrelv. I don't have to helping hand into it, so I'll do that. All right, Skrelv, get in. I don't have either of my engine, or I do have Props Memory, so I do have one of my engines here, but I am running out of cards. I'm not going to trade Cure for Floodprit's Drowner. They now have Collective Company mana up. Kitesail Larcenist. Okay, this thing has Ward 1, and it turns something into a treasure as long as it's in play. Okay, so I have a treasure. Oh, I have Rona now, too. This is a situation that something Snazzy did warn me about, where you might have something like Prof's Memory or Mox Amber in your hand that would be fine this turn, but it'll be even better next turn with Rona. So I'm going to cast Rona now, and I'm going to pass leaving up my removal spell. I need 7 cards in my graveyard to make an octopus with Kiora. Petty Thefting Rona. Yeah, pretty good. Doing that in the upkeep's really interesting. Why would they do that then instead of their main phase? It's the same thing. Do I want to trade Kiora? Yeah, I guess she's done her job. I don't want to just bleed out to this nonsense. I'm pretty far away from Threshold right now. A Ganjo can kill Brazen Borrower. Get Lost can kill Brazen Borrower. How many maps do I want to give them, I guess is the question. Whatever, I'll attack. I'm not here to not attack. That's what the deck does. Okay, they did not even block. Perfect. Trigger Malcolm, this is a loot. I'll discard Hallowed Fountain. That's not a card I need right now. And I'll redeploy this Rona. A Ganjo costs 1 to channel right now. A Brazen Borrower is on beatdown duty. Respectable. Do I want to kill Larcenist or Borrower? Larcenist unlocks something for me. Yeah, I'll deal for the Kitesail Larcenist. I can pay the ward. Something's happening. Petty Thefting Rona. Okay. Okay, Rona's back in my hand again. And they can cast this Brazen Borrower. That's an attack for 6 in the air next turn. Might be time to start mapping. All right, Malcolm, get in there. Malcolm goes up to 2 counters now. I'll discard Rona. I've finally given up on casting Rona. LMAO, I just had 2 of them. Surprise! Fear of Imposters. Okay, so this counters this, and I Manifest Dread. That's fine. I have a deck full of cool creatures. That's not any of them. I guess I'll make Otawara into a creature. And this does not fly. Brazen Borrower does. I don't really want to get cooked by a Spell Pierce, but I also don't want to give them maps in their main phase. Okay, block the Fear of Imposters with my Manifest. Get Lost this Brazen Borrower. Okay, for basically the first turn of the game, I've not taken any damage this turn. Starting to turn the engine around, I hope. The Monument, there it is. Okay. Now what? I guess I play this thing, is the answer. Monument to Endurance is on the stack. I think if they want to trade Brazen Borrower for Malcolm, I'm fine with it. Skrelv gives Hexproof, not protection. There is the Borrower, and we've got a trade. So now they can start mapping onto their elves. Also, Skrelv doesn't block. I just need to get an engine going. More flash spells. The Doctor, okay. Is this another creature? It is. All right, so that is frozen. Map hits Llanowar Elves. I'm sure they don't want that, but it does make their Mystica 2/2. Map hits Tishana's Tidebinder. They might want that. That's actually really good against my deck. Aether Channeler. Yeah, their deck is sweet. Yeah, bouncing my Monument. Tough crowd. I'm supposed to be the tempo deck, and they're better at it than me. Spell Pierce, not particularly helpful. I guess I have to Prof's Memory at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am dead on the board, but I can kill one of these things. Mox Amber, bummer. Not helpful at this point. Okay, Skrelv is a 2/2. All right, I think they're over my hump. There was a turn where I thought we were doing okay, but the remaining cards were all good, and the maps both hit extremely well. I'll get lost this Channeler. I go to 1. I know they have a flash threat in hand, 3 lethal threats on board, and most of my cards don't work. Fear of Imposters on top of their deck. Okay. I don't think I can possibly win this game, but I will go to my turn. Nope. Okay. That was pretty fun back and forth, though. It felt like, you know, they were ahead. They're a little better at doing this thing that we're trying to do than I am. But at the same time, there was like that one turn where maybe I stabilized and turned it around. Okay, Sheltered by Ghosts seems worth having. Mystical Dispute seems really good against them. Annul does counter the Fear, whatever that counter creature was. Dennick is a lifelink body that's pretty solid. It flips into a flying body too. I think Helping Hand is going to come out. I didn't see a lot of use for Spell Pierce. Knockout Blow, obviously their creatures aren't going to be red, but for 3 mana, killing one of their things and gaining 2 life could be a massive swing in this matchup. The next thing I'd cut is probably one of the monuments. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll bring in all this stuff and run it like so. Okay, well, there's Big Denick out of the sideboard. Let's see how far a 2/3 lifelink can carry me. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Hopefully he'll be a lot bigger than 2/3 in short order. Elvish Mystic. Mox Amber. Interesting. That is a full 2-color Mox with Denick in the mix. I think I'm going to sandbag this. 3 steps ahead doesn't actually do anything for 1 mana. Oh, if I had played it, then they couldn't do stuff in my upkeep. Yeah, I should have that in play. If they like Brazen Borrow right now, I deserve everything that happens to me. Okay, Seachrome Coast, Mox Amber. And I think I'm just going to chip shot here. I have 3 steps available. They could flash in some creature, but I could counter most things here. I'm not going to play into their counter spells. Yeah, they just went a whole turn without spending any mana. They spent the entirety of game 1 underneath me and my interaction. Now I'm going to try to spend this game underneath them and their interaction. Okay, Prof's Memory. I can still 3 steps if they try to counter this. And if they don't counter this, my creature is going to be real big. Okay, Prof's Memory trigger. Moved to combat, picked up another counter spell. Now my lifelink creature is even bigger. Something's happening. Collected Company. Well, I don't care much for that card. I'm going to hard cast Mystical Dispute on this and save my 3 steps because it's really powerful and I am getting up into the mana where I can do more with the modes. Shields are down though. Larcenist. So I have a treasure token with a +1 counter on it. Fascinating. Okay. I have a Ganjo to deal with that thing. Rona. We love a Rona. That resolved quickly. Turns Mox Amber back on. Okay, a Ganjo. Trigger. Pay the ward. Denick wakes up. And, ooh, they let me untap. Are we in business, team? I'm going to tap Rona. I'll get the party started here. I do like the cards in my hand, but that's fine. Okay, Tishana's Tidebinder with 3 cards left. I could counter a loot if I'm willing to tap out. I could also just get lost the Tidebinder and move on with my life. Save the counterspell. I think I'd rather save the counterspell. Okay, so Rona is sleepy for now. I have a 3/4. I'll attack with that. And then I think on their end step, I'll fight over the Tidebinder. I take 3. I'm at 28 thanks to Denick. I'll try to get this thing lost. I still have a hard counter up if I want it. They got their maps. Rona's awake. All right, I have a shitty card. I'm happy to loot away now. They have another Tidebinder. It's fine. Yeah, whatever. Denick is still doing his job here. I just have the largest creature in play, and I am beating up the creature deck with it. They're at 12 to my 25, now 9 to my 28. And I am going to hold this land back. This is a good loot for 3 steps. Land from hand. They're going to start mapping here. Yavimaya Coast in the hand. Llanowar Elves. They're not going to want that. Now this thing is the same size as Denick, and they have to decide if they're going to go defense or not. All right, they are not defending. They're not winning the race, so they must have another plan. Prof's Memory. Okay. This is a legend, but it does keep things moving here. Fairy Mastermind. That card's pretty good. Do I care if they have an extra card? I think I do. I'm still bigger than them with Denick. All right, I'm going to not care about this. They do get a card. It's fine. But, like, just not losing to some shit is more important to me right now. Look at this. Okay. Mistgate Pathway. And I can Sheltered by Ghosts with Counterspell still up. Right, I'm going to put the Shelter on Rona, who's already sleepy. Just if they have a bounce spell, I want them to fight over my worst creature. Exile this Tidebinder, because that'll turn off Rona, or turn Rona back on as well. Cool. Beginning of combat, trigger. I could have looted before combat. I don't think I'm going to be looting much at this point. I'm just going to attack. Oh, if I had put the counter on here, I could have attacked, but do I care if they double block? I guess I care a little bit about that. Wrathing them sounds good, but also... Yeah, I should have put the counter on Rona and attacked with both creatures. There's Yavimaya Coast, Elvish Mystic, and I don't think I'm going to activate Rona here. I am winning on the board as long as I don't get stupid. Okay, I'll move to combat. I have 2 hyper-relevant instants involved here. Get Lost can cook Fairy Mastermind, which then beats any number of blocks in combat. They're in the chump block mode. They're at 3. Yeah, I'm chilling. Activating Fairy Mastermind. I'll take a card. They get a couple cards, but that's fine. Malcolm can untap Rona at instant speed. Either Channeler. I don't think I want that card to happen. This is where it could break down. 1, 2, that's Get Lost. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right, so I don't have room to do any additional spreeing with this. I'm just going to counter. Llanowar Elves, you got it. End step, Malcolm. This is another flying attacker. Gets Rona moving right now. Rona losing her abilities barely matters here. If they have Tidebinder, it's fine. Let's get it out. Yeah, sure. Whatever. It's still a 2/3 lifelink with a different Tidebinder under it. Or I guess it loses lifelink due to timestamps. Fair enough. Okay, I will Get Lost the Tidebinder now. And then untap with all my creatures available. I can wake Rona up into the Tolarian Obliterator. This is a 6/5 trample now. And if they block it, I get to do something. Exile a card at random from their hand, and I can cast that card. And with everything, they can't Brazen Borrow because I have Ward 2. That creature has trample, opponent. Warning, warning. Splat. Okay, cool. So far, textbook, back and forth, tempo, mirror. Whoever was up under the other person, applying pressure and gets to hold up their interaction is favored. Now I'm on the draw. How do I buck the draw back my way? So Spell Pierce does hit Collected Company and Petty Theft, but their deck is mostly creatures. I don't think I actually want this card. Knockout Blow is the card I'm considering. It's tough to tap out for Monument in this matchup, and I think Knockout Blow is good enough that I'm happy to spend 3 mana on it. Okay, this is a 1-lander that's super clunky besides. I'll mulligan that. Okay. I'm going to keep this Grip full of removal. I'm going to bottom Mox Amber. I think that's just the farthest away from helping me right now. Breeding Pool. There we go. Found a creature. Something to carry Sheltered by Ghosts. We'll find out pretty soon if this Knockout Blow is any good. Skrelv right on time. At this point, I'm more interested in Malcolm. Flashing in Brazen Borrower. I'll use this opportunity to resolve Malcolm. This does leave them open with 4 mana to Collected Company, but I don't know if they're going to play around that anyway. If I don't actually have a counterspell, so it would just be a full bluff. Larceny. Malcolm is a treasure. We knew that already, though, in our hearts. All right, there's Malcolm. Treasure Malcolm. Okay, I can Skrelv and put Sheltered by Ghosts on Skrelv right now, exiling Brazen Borrower. That would cost me Iganjo, which has been a big player so far in the match, but yeah, I think I'm gonna shelter Skrelv and take the Borrower. This is like a pretty small, fragile creature. They could just bounce that, but I am behind. Not only are they on the play in the Tempo Mirror, but they have Mana Dorks. Otawara, okay. I think I have to play this, even though I don't want to. Iganjo and Otawara can trigger your Monument on the opponent's turn. It's an easy way to discard cards. Okay, they're in the spot where they're just jamming out 3/2s because they have stats. And we will find out right now if Knockout Blow is any good. Aether Channeler. Tough crowd. Okay, so Skrell's going to get bounced here. That does tap them out for the turn, though. Okay, Skrell's back in my hand. They are attacking. I'm going to knock out the Kite Sail thing. Pay the ward. 4 damage to you. I gain 2 life. Malcolm's back. Do I want to trade with Malcolm? I think I have to. It sucks, but I mean, I am getting cooked here. Okay, Rona plus Skrelv while they're tapped out. Get the squad in. And try to turn it around. 3 cards over there in their hand still. 2 removal spells in mine. They have seen Mystic Dispute out of me. I don't know how much they're gonna respect it, but they have seen it. Okay, that resolves. Tapping Skrelv, that's fine. Draw another Get Lost. Oh, Rona is a 1/3, and she is holding back 3 of their 4 attackers. I'm just gonna leave her untapped right now. Another Drowner. Okay, I will respond by looting, because I do play counter spells. Okay, they have Tidebinder also in their hand. Get Lost is not a legend, unfortunately. I'm going to get a bunch of these creatures lost here. Take out Brazen Borrower and Tidebinder. I know it's not attacking right now, but it is the one freezing Rona. If I just like draw a legend, which I did, now Rona untaps. All right, Kiora, let's go. We are almost in Octopus Land. We're actually there once I discard Malcolm versus Shelter. I think I want Shelter. Get Lost, Malcolm. And they don't have good attacks here, but they do have a lot of maps. I hope they spend this turn dumping maps out, and then I get a good Shelter. Collected Company, main phase that sucker. Rolling the dice, and they hit 2 removal spells. The worst possible outcome for me. They're bouncing Rona and drowning Kiora. I'll loot in response. Don't need this island. Right, now I'm in trouble, but Shelter by Ghost is still a really good card. Rona, Shelter, onto Rona, exile. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. They're all 2/1s. I guess I'll take a doctor. And I think I'm just dead anyway. What do I have? 5 life, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage coming through. Yep, I'm dead anyway. They're still busting maps, though. Found a forest. Elvish Mystic. Yeah, Skrelv can't block. That's the problem here. Okay, they left Elvish Mystic on top to make sure they can buff every time, and then they'll mill it away on the last one. Or they'll just kill me and it doesn't matter. Yep, GG. That was actually sweet. It came down to a Collected Company. Did it hit 2 removal spells? And it did. Pretty sweet back and forth gameplay, though. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. Something snazzy told me very directly don't keep 1-landers. I do have Mox Amber and a 1-mana legend, though. I'm going to count this as a 2-lander. I will keep. Obviously, this could deteriorate quickly. But if I can get Rona into play and start moving cards around, I'll feel pretty good. Skrelv. And do I play out Mox Amber? I think I do not. Leaving it in my hand leaves it susceptible to Thoughtseize. But playing it out makes Skrelv an even juicier target for removal than it already is. Blooming Marsh. Please cast Llanowar Elves. Witch's Oven. Okay, cool. I am not going to lose without casting Rona. Mox Amber. Rona with the Hexproof bubble up. And I'll pass. Yeah, not attacking. I had a brief moment of, did I miss an attack? But no, Skrelv has a job to do. Looks like we're playing against Jun Cat Oven. And they have the Cat Oven ready to go. Get Lost can not destroy Witch's Oven. Creature and Gem or Planeswalker. I'm going to have to overwhelm them the old-fashioned way. Tap Rona. Draw and discard. Spell Pierce. I don't think I need this second Rona. I'll dump Rona. I'll play Malcolm to untap Rona. I still have a land drop here. Keep tapping Rona. We did it. And I think I'm going to discard Get Lost and focus on sticking this monument and going to town. Mayhem Devil. Well, I don't think I can ever beat this card. Literally impossible. Okay, resolves. With Get Lost in my graveyard feels good. I'm not blocking this thing. They can Devil twice this turn. Yeah, killing Skrelv is free and easy. I guess I have to give Malcolm pro red, but then they'll just kill Malcolm on my turn, and it doesn't actually change anything. I just lose 2 life. I guess I don't have to lose 2 life. All right, red and black. Mayhem Devil covers both. And then they just kill on my upkeep. We'll see what this monument's made of here. Okay, that's dead. Monument to Endurance. Get in there. Draw and discard. Is Spell Pierce going to do anything this game? Otawara could temporarily remove Mayhem Devil. It's Spell Pierce, and I'm supposed to normally drain, but I think I need to draw here. I am not winning the race. Okay, sweet. This is another Rona activation, which will turn into another, a treasure or whatever else I want it to be. Draw and discard. Helping Hand. Okay, that can get back a dead creature. My dead creatures are Malcolm and another Rona and Skrelv, though, so that's not actually helping. Do I think 3 steps ahead is going to be part of this game? 3 steps, the looting on their turn could matter. I'm about to get a treasure, so I guess I can discard Deserted Beach. Or this Helping Hand is just not very good. It doesn't take much to kill Rona from here, though. But if they kill Rona, they'll always kill Rona. What's the difference? Alright, I'll discard the beach. And I guess I get a treasure. Yeah, Helping Hand doesn't turn Otawara. It's a wash. I get +1 legend at -1 mana. Feeling pretty dead here. This was the 1-2-3 start that this deck is built on. I didn't have Spell Pierce when Witch's Oven came down. Alright, we don't need to keep playing this game. A Knockout Blow kills Mayhem Devil, kind of. Dennick is a lifelink body. Annul counters the Oven. Soul Guide Lantern hits their graveyard. Unlicensed Hearse hits their graveyard. Though Dennick turns off Unlicensed Hearse, awkwardly. It also turns off Helping Hand. Skrelv actually seems terrible versus a deck with Mayhem Devil in it. Sheltered by Ghost seems good. Spell Pierce does have targets, but might be mid. And Monument feels pretty slow here. I'll try this. This might be way too much graveyard hate, but I'm going for it. As we saw, I can't actually beat that engine. Okay, 2-lander. I am going to keep. I can counter an Oven on turn 1, Annul, the Vintage All-Star Annul in my Pioneer deck. I love cross-format crossover. Overgrown Tomb. Let's see an Oven. Let's see an Oven. Scavenger's Talent. I can counter that too. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control die, make a food. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2. I'll just stop this thing. Stop it where I can. And then I'll go for Rona. And then they have to spend a turn responding to her. Rona into Prof's Memory. This is a big creature very quickly, I hope. It'll push. It's not a big creature at all. But they did have to spend a turn responding to her. I am going to run out the memory to try to hit my land drop. I don't think I need Unlicensed Hearse right in this moment. And I am sort of Kiora flooded. Full house. That's a good hand in some games. A Cauldron Familiar is here. Alright. We're in business. A turn late, but I'll take it. Kiora trigger. Draw 2. I'll discard the 3rd Kiora. I might need the 2nd one. And the 2nd Unlicensed Hearse. And then I'll make Kiora 5/4. And hope that's big enough to tangle. Claim the first board takes things with mana value 3 or less, right? Not power 3 or less. That feels right. They're Deadly Disputing in the end step. That turns on Fatal Push, which they do have. Den of the Bugbear. Blood Tithe Harvester. 3 cards left over there. That's still a lot of cards. Another Cauldron Familiar. Okay, I'm going for the Re-Kiora special. I am Threshold for next turn after this Kiora trigger resolves. Mox Amber lets me cast Malcolm this turn, so I'm going to discard Seachrome Coast. Do I care about Malcolm, I guess is the question. I could cast Unlicensed Hearse or Get Lost this turn instead. Malcolm is my last creature that I'm showing. A little worried about that. Yeah, the Hearse is better if they come up with a Cauldron. The Get Lost is better if they come up with a Devil. I think I have to play around removal more than I have to play around Cauldron Familiar at this point. Okay, I'm going to discard Unlicensed Hearse number 2. Play my Plains, play my Amber. Move to combat. Kiora gets bigger. 5/4. Fountain Port, 2 cards left in hand. Activating the Blood. I'd love to make an Octopus. It's time. Give me an Octopus, please. I think this is actually the 3rd time on the channel I've played Kiora in Constructed. I've yet to make an Octopus. 2nd main Blood Tithe Harvester. This one is too small. They need another blood to kill Kiora. Deadly Dispute. Okay, they're going for it. Desperately looking for the 3rd Fatal Push. I think if they had removal, they would have used it by now. I'm going to play Malcolm. Okay, here we go. Untapped with a counterspell. I'm ready to battle. Attack, make an Octopus. I would like to use this ability, thank you very much. Scion of the Deep, legendary 8/8 octopus. It rules that it's a legend because that means it's also turning on Mox Amber. It's just good deck building. I could get lost this Blood Tithe Harvester and win the combat. Do I care? Not really. She already made an 8/8, and if she kills 2 things too, that's a pretty good deal. Okay, Malcolm, trigger. I'll discard one of the Get Lost. And pass. Alright, big octopus energy here. Maximum octopus hours. Scavenger's Talent. I have to reread this. Whenever you sack a permanent, target player mills 2. That's fine. Beginning of your end step, sack 3 other non-land permanents. If you do, reanimate something with a finality counter. I think this is fine. I can get lost it if it gets out of hand somehow. A Fountain Port is pretty good against Scion of the Deep, unfortunately. Just endless jumps. Attack with my creatures. Malcolm is still doing damage, though. A fish. This doesn't trample. Okay, this will make a food token, which will also get back one of the Cauldron Familiars. Okay, I see how the engine's coming together here. Looting away a Hallowed Fountain. And I'm going to keep the other one for future looting. I need to get some stats on Malcolm, which means I need to find something that draws cards before combat. I've already used 3 Kioras, unfortunately. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I don't think I want to play against that card. I'm going to counter and loot. Okay, there's a Monument and a redundant Malcolm. I'll discard bonus Malcolm, keep the land for now. Monument will actually start killing my opponent, though. It's what I've been waiting for this whole time. They're attacking me. Oy, caramba. Let's go. Monument. And I think I want to zap in Hallowed Fountain to play another Monument. And I don't think Scion's going to attack here because that's like a free food token for them. They end up getting to keep the fish. I guess the fish costs a life, so it's not free. But I think having the 8/8 on D makes some sense here. A Malcolm successfully triggered. Next turn, he is in the zone. The casting free spells zone. Dennick versus Get Lost. Dennick I can actually play out of my graveyard for the Disturb ability. I could also discard Get Lost and play Dennick now if I make 2 treasures. I could also just 6-ball my opponent. Make them dead turn after next. Alright, I will discard Dennick. Each opponent loses 3 life. Each opponent loses 3 life. I'm going for the face. They'll probably draw a card in the end step. Yeah, they sack their treasure to draw a card. And I'm in. I'm all in here. I played Blazemire Verge. Mayhem Devil. That could be of some concern. Okay, so they're giving my Scion of the Deep -0/-0. Wait, what just happened? Oh, Mayhem Devil killed the Malcolm. Yep, that's how that works. You can just sack this anytime, even if you don't have a blood. But that does create a food, which then makes Cauldron Familiar better. Dennick on the back is a 3/2 flying. Whenever one or more creatures are put into graveyards from anywhere, investigate. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will disturb Dennick from his slumber. If I attack with Scion, they get to make a food token. I don't think I want that to happen. Yeah, because the cat just comes back and they don't actually take any life or damage. And I can Get Lost the Mayhem Devil. I think I respond here. If I Get Lost Mayhem Devil, they get a food, but the engine mostly doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to get this Mayhem Devil lost. They can bring back Cauldron Familiar in response, but that doesn't kill any of my creatures and does a small amount of damage to me. Maps are a lot of tokens, though. But I get to investigate here. Okay, I investigate. You get a fish. And there are certainly draws in their deck that are good, but I feel like I'm ahead right now. I'm falling behind quickly, but I am ahead right now, I think. Map found a swamp and a Thoughtseize. I'm sure they don't want Thoughtseize at this point. Yep, dump that. Den of the Bugbear still over there. Fountain Port's still over there. Another familiar from hand. I go to 8. I haven't done the math yet, but they can do a lot of damage this turn. Okay, here comes these things. I'm going to block Den of the Bugbear and Fish Token. I take 1, 2, 3, 4. If I block Cauldron Familiar, it just comes back off of its own food token. I think this is the way to do this. I go to 4. I investigate. You get a food. The clues will trigger profs if nothing else does. All right, clue. Just give me some looter. Sheltered by Ghost. That might be better than a looter. All right, clue. Clue. Malcolm is a looter. Denick is going to be a giant lifelink creature that bashes in the air. Okay, Sheltered by Ghost on Denick. I'm going to exile the Cauldron Familiar with a +1 counter on it. Begin combat. Did I miss lethal? Was this untapped? Jesus Christ. All right. Maybe I just fucked up real bad. Okay, 6/4 flying lifelink. Yeah, I think I just missed lethal. I was busy thinking about other stuff. Feels good, man. Okay, Seachrome Coast. I am going to play that because if they start sacking creatures, I will investigate, and I might need more mana next turn. Yeah, I think in my head, just Fountain Port is always active, and Cyan was deleted. Just not keeping track of everything I need to. Beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice 3 other permanents. If you do, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So they can get Mayhem Devil back here. And then they will have 3 foods to bring back 3 Cauldron Familiars. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. In that case, I'll block the Goblin. Okay, so you get your food. That's triggered for the once this turn. Did I blow it? I mean, I definitely blew it, but is it going to cost me the game? Okay, they sacked 3 things. I get a clue. Somebody mills 6. They're targeting me. Okay. They can sack food to get back Cauldron Familiar, food to get back Cauldron Familiar. Okay, hitting me for 1, milling me, getting back Cauldron Familiar. I have 24 cards left in my deck right now. I've successfully untapped. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, that includes clue tokens. What happens if I just attack with Denick? They have a food they can eat the old-fashioned way. I guess I'm going to have to invite Mayhem Devil to trigger and draw a card. That's 1 to me. Get lost. Okay. That's pretty cool. I guess I will go to combat then. Extra counter on Denick. He's attacking for 7. I think I want to kill Mayhem Devil right now. Though, whenever you sacrifice a permanent. So giving them maps would actually fuel that thing. All right, I definitely beefed that a little bit, but wasn't punished by it. Too bad. Taking out Mayhem Devil is pretty important. Annul is very important. Spell Pierce has targets. Will be pretty bad later, but I'm a deck full of loots. Should I just have Monument in? Probably, yeah. We're both trying to get artifact engines going, and this is the thing that actually dealt a bunch of damage to them. Even though it never triggered again after that moment, just lava axing them was pretty sweet. And I suspect with Denick and 2 unlicensed hearses, I don't actually need Soul Guide Lantern 2. But Soul Guide Lantern costing 1 matters quite a bit. But unlicensed hearse is better. And these matches aren't fast. They're just about certain things. Okay. I've made my choice. I've got Annul and Monument ready to go. I'm going to keep. Being on the draw stinks a little bit. They've seen Annul, so they know. Yep. They know they can just jam their garbage now. Double Monument situation. Level 2. Okay, they're leveling that thing up. Edgegate Pathway. I'm going to play Mistgate side of that. And I will play Mox Amber. That lets me play Malcolm and Annul this turn if I need to do both by having this in play. Blood Tithe Harvester, disappointing. We got him, team! A Malcolm. Annul. Sweet. Okay. Something happened. Something happened that was good for me. Oh, Kiora is really good. I'm going to play Monument first. Because once Monument's in play, Kiora gets even more insane. Attack with Malcolm. A loot. Another Amber. If I make a treasure, I can still play the other Monument this turn. Like if I discard Iganjo, or I don't think I need a dual land, but it might need 2 life. How important is this? So if I discard Iganjo, or discard Hallowed Fountain, then I can go 1, 2, 3, Kiora. All right, I actually like that a lot. Discard Hallowed Fountain, make a treasure. And then play Iganjo, play Mox Amber, play Kiora, and then do the other 2 things. Do I want Rona in my hand still, or Monument in my hand still? Get Lost actually looks pretty important, though. All right, I'm going to discard Rona and Monument. And then each opponent loses 3 life, and I draw a card. Maybe I was supposed to play the second Monument there, and then Kiora for a million triggers next turn. We both have engines online. They do have Mayhem Devil. Blood Tithe Harvester can kill my whole board this turn. Glad I held on to the Get Lost, I guess. Losing my whole board stinks, obviously. Oh, wait. They dealt one to Kiora instead of Malcolm. Kiora was going to die anyway. It's twice the number of bloods. Okay, I'm getting away with something that I shouldn't. Okay, I'll attack with Malcolm. Malcolm hits. Loot away Deserted Beach. And I'm going to deal 3 to my opponent here. Trying to get him dead, as I was instructed. All right, I'll give you some maps. Don't love giving the sack deck maps, but I like even less if they have heckin' Mayhem Devil. Blackleaf Cliffs enters tapped, which means they can go to Scavenger's Talent. They can end step, get back Mayhem Devil. Oh, or just have another one. That's cool too. But I have Otawara this time. Deserted Beach. Malcolm, get in. Loot, discard Deserted Beach. Or no, I discard the redundant Malcolm, right? All these foods are kind of a problem. If I discard Malcolm, my opponent goes to 5. I could channel Otawara, put them to 2, but then they can sack foods, which also trigger Mayhem Devil. I might need to draw a card, even though I don't want to. Okay, I'll discard Deserted Beach, and I think I'm supposed to draw a card here. 3 steps ahead. Does that help? If I channel Otawara, that costs 3. It triggers. I could get a treasure. I could also draw 2, discard 2 on their end step, which could deal 3 to them, make a treasure. All these tokens with the second Mayhem Devil, though. It's really bad. Relying on this X1 creature that shouldn't even be in play is tough. I could copy Monument. Just kind of let them cook over there. Copy Monument. Go to my turn, try to do some looting. Okay, I'm just going to pass my turn. Once Malcolm's dead, Mox Amber's off. That's something I have to be respectful of. So I float a blue right now. They're targeting me. Is milling me out actually a win con for this deck? Overgrown Tomb into their hand. Okay, Otawara costs 4 now. Yeah, I'm going to bounce Mayhem Devil. I think I just have to do this. And I will have my opponent lose 3 life. If they go to 5, Mayhem Devil's back in the hand. If they shock in Mayhem Devil, or if they shock in this Overgrown Tomb, they're dead. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Good call. They did level up Scavenger's Talent, so they're going to reanimate a Mayhem Devil here and mill me for 6. Yeah, I think that turn I just like spaz cast Kiora. If I had cast Monument and then Kiora with double trigger the following turn, they'd be dead already. Or I could draw Kiora right now and everything's fine. Kiora, draw 2, discard 2, make a treasure, turn on Mox Amber. If I draw a land here, I think I can win. Kiora. Come on, deck. We found a land. Oh, and Sheltered by Ghosts. Do I want to try to just win versus a face-up food token? If I discard Malcolm and Unlicensed Hearse, I can make treasure, and they lose 3 life, and then play Blue Side Pathway. If they tap out of their food or try to use their food, I can kill them in response. If they do anything else while leaving up a food token, I'm in trouble. I could just play Sheltered by Ghosts here and try to remove this Mayhem Devil from the situation, but I know they have another one in their hand. But if they spend a turn, how does Finality work? Will this reset the Finality counter if I exile it? I think it does. But it's going to be hard for them to ping this enough times to kill it. I'm just so close to the win here. Okay, I'm going to pass and try to do the 3 steps, win on their turn, maneuver, rather than try to outgrind them with Shelter by Ghosts. Second Mayhem Devil. So now what I want them to do is sack their food to kill my Kiora, and in response to them gaining 3, I will kill them. Looks like it's going to work. Some targets are on the stack. Blue, blue, a blue. They do get some devil triggers from my treasure, but that doesn't matter. I would like to draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Sick! I'll choose. Each opponent loses 3 life. Did we do it? Did we out-oven the oven deck? We did. The bigger, better cat oven, proven by this match. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the draw in round 3, and I'm playing against the same opponent I just played against. This usually happens on Magic Online if you happen to queue into someone who just finished their last round of their league and started a new one right away. You can't play against the same person twice in the same league, but you can play against the same opponent twice in your own league if they're in a different league. And it looks like they're on the same deck too. Here we go, the rematch to run them all. I do not have access to white mana, don't currently need it, but my opponent is curving out with creatures, and unfortunately, turn 3. Okay, cool. I drew Malcolm. That makes things a little better. I was gonna say, unfortunately, tapping out for Rona leaves Fable the Mirror Breaker as something they can just shove, but Malcolm does let me play at instant speed a little bit, even though Rona is the card I'd rather have him play. Look at this shit. Boom. Glad I didn't shove Rona. Still behind. Don't get me wrong. Not having a good time here. But that was a good exchange. Okay, Henchgate Pathway. I'll play that. And I think I'd like to play Rona plus Skrelv. I do not think holding Skrelv to be a legend next turn is worth doing. Skrelv dies to anything out of my opponent's deck, including the onboard Blood Tithe Harvester. Fatal Push, too easy. Cat Oven, assembled. Blood Token, dumping, Blight Pathway. 1 card left in hand over there. That is the flip side of dumping out fast, is at some point you don't have any cards. But they've done a lot of damage along the way, which is what they needed to do. I guess I'm going to play Kiora here. Holding up a counterspell does not seem useful. Draw 2, discard 2. Prof's Memory could be part of the game still. Spell Pierce, not actually going to counter very much, and they do just have 1 random card in their hand, plus they're going to draw another random one. I think I'm going to discard Spell Pierce and Otawara. In Otawara, bounce Witch's Oven, hold up 3 steps to counter it could be a plan. Am I ever going to have that much mana? I don't think so. Okay, I'll discard Spell Pierce, Otawara, play Seachrome Coast, and pass. I need them to flood out really badly here to have a chance. If they play any spell that matters, I'm in the garbage. Deadly Dispute, that card's pretty good. Harvester, I will block with Kiora. I'm pretty far off of Threshold right now. I guess that's not even true. I could have just gone to my turn, looted 2, attacked, made an Octopus. Oh no, the Kiora, oh, this would have been. All right, never mind. Probably should not have blocked there. Okay. I'm going to play Iganjo and Prof's Memory and leave up a counterspell. Prof's Memory, move to combat, Skrelv. And Skrelv's getting rowdy. Opponent takes 2 damage and a poison. Opponent does not currently have any foods to get their chain rolling with. This is interesting. I'm not going to counter the Deadly Dispute, though. I'll save my counterspell for a payoff. Because if they draw a payoff, it was somewhere in their top 2 cards anyway. Here we go. Counter target spell. They still just need literally any creature, and they're fine. Okay, they are currently out of gas. Doesn't take much to get going. Rona. Get in there, lady. And Deserted Beach could flip Rona, or it could be a loot. Yeah, I have both Rona and Malcolm. I'm going to hold back the extra loot card. No bullshit, please. That is medium bullshit. It gets their chain going, but my chain's going too now. And I think I should hold Malcolm back for legend triggers, because I have the memory and the Rona. Draw, discard. Discard Deserted Beach. Play Amber, untap Rona. I'm probably going to discard literally whatever this draw is, because I like the other 2 cards in my hand a lot. Amber. I don't need another one of those at this juncture. And I can play Malcolm now and still have my counterspell up. Malcolm, untaps Rona, and then I can put a bunch of counters on Rona and flip her next turn, and that's the race I'm trying to be in. Attacking and not attacking are the same thing here, unfortunately. Or attacking costs me a loot, so it's actually worse. Okay, counterspell's up. They can deal 1 damage to me in the end step, but didn't. They're seeing if they draw Mayhem Devil, keeping extra sacks on board. Good play. Deadly Dispute, not my fight. Claim the Firstborn. I don't really want that to happen, but it's not as bad as getting hit with. So I lose Malcolm here, because they can just sack it to Oven. Yeah, I have to make this okay. Because if they just play a Mayhem Devil, I lose. All right. And we had this additional information of they could have killed Rona, but went after Malcolm instead. So what is the last card in their hand? And protecting Rona is more important. Malcolm does get an attack and a loot here. Discarded a land. And do they have a banger? They make a food. That always happens. Was always going to happen. Returning Cauldron Familiar. I go to 6. They can put me to 5. Right, I'm at 5. Unfortunately, I cannot flip Rona. It's just not possible here. Because I don't have black mana, and flipping her would cost Phyrexian mana to put me to 3. And then they attack me for 2. Sack Witch's Oven. That's the last one. So drawing Helping Hand might make this possible. Okay, Helping Hand target Kiora. This might be just the 1 point I needed to do anything. Oh, this comes in tapped? Fuck that. All right, never mind. Doesn't help. Discard 2 cards. I'm going to buff Kiora. And I can make the Octopus next turn, but I'm already cooked to the engine for the most part. Attacking does work here, but they're at 22. Yeah, I think my 1 point of damage is more important than their 3 points. Oh, a second Oven off the top. We lose. This is 2 damage now. Okay, I'm super dead. Or no, I can loot. Or no, they get to untap, right? Oh, shit. All right. Well, there we go. There's that. Denick, Annul. We've done this before, and we will do it again. This is Sheltered by Ghosts, Annul, Denick, Unlicensed Hearse, and a bunch of stuff that dies to Mayhem Devil, hurts me, or doesn't really help me much. Going away. The key things in this matchup, as we've determined, are they have their talents and ovens. I have my monuments. I will keep my hand. And as much as I don't want to play Otawara as a land, I don't want to take 2 for no reason either, so I am going to play Otawara as a land, leaving up Spell Pierce for the litany of things they might do on turn 1. Scavenger's Talent, Oven, or Thoughtseize would all get Spell Pierced here. Yep, there's a talent. Backup Rona. Alright, this game I am going to try to commit the better card first. Blood Crypt, zapped it in. Harvester. Monument off the top. The 3rd Rona. Not really what I'm looking for, I'll be honest. Loot. Discard one of my bonus Ronas. And I'll play Hallowed Fountain tapped here. Okay, I can get lost a Mayhem Devil that comes down. I can Malcolm to untap my Rona at any point. Overgrown Tomb. Unfortunate, I cannot counter this. It is going to resolve. I can destroy it if I want to. I don't think I do. I could trade Malcolm for this. I don't want to do that either. I'm just going to play Malcolm in the end step and then tap Rona. Loot. And I'll discard the 3rd Rona. Now I have a grip full of removal spells and graveyard hate. Fun, 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 fun. Okay, if I shelter Rona by Ghosts, she does not die to Blood Tithe Harvester, and I can delete the Goblin Shaman forever. Okay, Rona is going to make some ghost friends. Exile Goblin Shaman. And I think I just want to attack here. Get the damage going. They're at 16 already from their lands. Take 4, I loot. Oh, there's Monument. Am I more worried about Hearse, Get Lost, or Monument? In Monument's my win con. Alright, I'm going to discard Unlicensed Hearse, play this land, represent Get Lost for a turn, and try to Monument their face-off next turn. They kept all the cards, cool. Sucks that their hand is already perfect, but pretty hype that they didn't use their chapter at all. So they have Mayhem Devil. They immediately get the Blood Tithe Harvester sack. That will delete Malcolm, give you some maps. Rona and Monument to Endurance are in the mix. Spell Pierce. I don't hate that card. Attacking with Rona is almost as good as activating Rona. I'm going to activate her, though. Draw a discard. I'll discard Spell Pierce and deal 3 to my opponent. And I have Kiora in the grip for big next turn. See what next turn looks like. Opponent's at 9 life already. Mayhem Devil's really good, but they don't currently have any sacrifice objects. Kiora, re-Kiora. Okay, so tap Rona. Mox Amber, additional untap. Okay, discard Kiora. This one's going to draw a card, because I am going to get all the modes this turn. Annul. That's not the worst. Okay, Kiora untaps Rona, and then makes a treasure and drains them for 3. Get Lost, and Monument. The third Monument might still be useful this game. I'm going to discard Mox Amber, and I think I discard Annul here. Oh wait, Rona's untapped, so they'll be at 6. Oh, I literally just passed the turn with Rona in play. Alright, hold on. Discard Annul and Get Lost. Okay, yeah, they're just dead. Okay, make a treasure. They lose 3 life. Treasure. I could get a loot here, but it won't do anything, so I'm just gonna not. 1, 2, 3. Monument. Sure, enjoy your Mayhem Devil trigger. Monument. And I will pass the turn. What's the right sequence here? I think I wait for them to do something and then respond to it, because I can kill them at will here, as long as Rona doesn't die in response. Or Rona doesn't matter. Endurance. Monument matters. As long as I don't die in response. Okay. Witch's Oven. This card generates food. Yeah, alright. I'll loot now. They're copying Mayhem Devil in response. They can sack a blood token to deal 2 to something. They're killing Kiora in response to being dead. That's allowed. Draw, discard. Cool. Alright, sweet. Found the line. This really does kill people really fast. Alright, so I'm about to play my 6th game against this opponent, and I have discarded Unlicensed Hearse every time. I think I'm going to turn one Unlicensed Hearse into a Soul Guide Lantern just for mana efficiency's concern. It just never seems like the correct thing to spend 2 mana on when I have it, so I'll try the 1 mana replacement. Okay, the Clutch Annul. Again, on the draw, it's a lot worse. Swamp, Witch's Oven. They're in business. Okay, I think now that that is the case, I'm going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped. As most of their 2-drops are not artifacts or enchantments, and if they follow up with just like 2 more Witch's Ovens this turn, whatever, you got me, I guess. Okay, Scavenger's Talent. Could have countered that. Didn't play that way. Like I said, whatever, you got me, I guess. Called it, and it's true. I'm going to go for Rona because I have the Monument right here, ready to go, and Prof's Memory ready to go. I'm just going to try to be aggro here and hope that their 3rd turn is not completely broken. Claim the Firstborn. Yeah, it's pretty good. This kills my Rona and gets their food engine going. This actually generates 2 foods for them. Attacking for 1 instead of looting in their Graveyard Synergy deck is an interesting choice, though. I'm not saying they're wrong. They know their deck better than I do. I'm just saying it's interesting. But they milled over Dennick. It's like they drew me a card. That's fun. Mox Amber. Little late to the party. This turn was set to be bonkers. Dennick costs 4 to disturb. We're not there yet. I think I just want to invest a Monument into play. Yeah, once this is in play, Iganjo has extra words on it. Drawing a Kiora or a... what is that card called? 3 steps. Get a lot better. Another Monument. How many of these can I afford to play? Okay, I'm going to play Iganjo as a land and invest a 2nd Monument and set up for some future turn where I do a lot of messed up things. They're using their blood token. This triggers a mill. Milled me for 2. Got rid of 2 lands. I do have a null up if they find... okay. I don't have a null up anymore. If they care about it, which they may or may not. They'll probably take Prof's Memory here. Unless they're ready to drop the Devil, in which case they take Get Lost. Took Prof's Memory. Guess what, sucker? That's a discard. They will lose 3 life. Or no, I'm going to draw a card to make a treasure, because this turns on Get Lost. Bang. Want to Thoughtseize me again? Okay. This jabroni is here. I could kill Scavenger's Talent before they do anything else. It gives them a bunch of maps to use on these Blood Tide Harvesters that are otherwise just kind of jerking around, though. Okay, I'm not going to get lost just yet. Rona, there she is. That's that girl, that queen. Okay, I can play Rona and Denick this turn and hold up a null. Okay, here's Denick. I'm going to play Blue Side Pathway. I will play the Amber, even though it would be better with Rona next turn, but they have 2 onboard ways to kill Rona, so I'm just going to get my mana up here. They could, like, just sack their Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay, they're still just trying to mill me out here. They gain 3 life, or 21. They do only have 1 blood, and it's about to be 0. Okay, 0 blood tokens. Milled over a Kiora. A creature went to the graveyard from anywhere. That gives me a clue token. Yeah, they milled over the Denick, and then they milled a clue token out of the Denick. They're just determined to feed me all the goods. Okay, they are drawing a card. Still milling me. They use their blood token, so Denick will not die to a Blood Tithe Harvester sack. I'm definitely not blocking. We got stuff to do here. Let's figure it out. Kiora! Okay. I'm going to start by cracking my clue to just have more options to loot with Kiora. That's a good one to get rid of. 1, 2, 3. Tap the Mox Amber. Kiora's a loot situation. There is a fresh Amber and a fresh Rona. I don't need this land. The Annul does still look reasonable. Get Lost has proven to be one of my best cards. I am super threshold right here. I think I might actually discard Rona. That puts a creature to the graveyard from anywhere. That will investigate. Though, is Rona better in my hand than Amber? Am I going to play this Amber? I think I actually am. But I can make a treasure, so maybe not. If I drain them, make a treasure. I'm kind of into the Rona, though. Alright, I'll discard Amber, make a treasure, and drain them. Oh, right, I have 2 of these things. Treasure. Drain you. Drain you. Treasure. I can draw cards anytime. We're going nuts. It's a lot of damage. And then play Rona. There is no Mayhem Devil in play. I'm currently in the clear. Attack with Denick. I am trying to race. Okay. Game's getting exciting. Another talent. Well, I've been sitting on this Annul for the entire game, so let's use it. If they manage to sculpt their 2-card hand into bait enchantment into real enchantment, then, again, they got me. Do I want to go to 4? Obviously not, but I think it is fine. I think it's better than losing either of these creatures. I'll have an 8/8 Octopus starting next turn. Though if I block, that gives them a food, but they could get food anyway. Yeah, I don't think the Octopus is actually winning me this game. I think Rona's winning me this game. And if I can make a clue from Denick and have a high enough life total to pop off with Rona, I'll be feeling okay here. They're running out of resources. As long as I don't get cheesed out, it should be fine. Something's happening. Leveling up the talent or just drawing a card. Still milling me out. Determined to get there on the mill strat. Blood Crypt. Shocked it in, so they have a spell to cast. Another Harvester. Alright, Rona. Let's get this game over. Just any legendary card kills them. Alright, they just don't even want to play. They're done. Nice. Maybe flipping Rona was lethal or maybe not, but okay. 2-0 Lifetime versus Jund Witch's Oven. This little joker versus this big Giga Chad. We know who wins. On to round number 4, hopefully against a different opponent.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round number 4 against a new opponent. I'll keep my hand. And I'll play Hallowed Fountain tapped to start it off. A Swamp. This could represent Thoughtseize or Fatal Push, 2 of the best cards in the format. Guess what? My hand is just 3 Malcolms, though. Thoughtseize not super effective here. I think I would take Helping Hand from this hand. It's just the card that is different. It's the card that could combo with Malcolm, and reanimating or playing Malcolm when there's a Malcolm doesn't do anything. This is both the most mana efficient thing and the most different thing. Unless they know something snazzy perfect. Personally, they probably don't know what all the cards in my deck are, so taking Helping Hand turns off like potential Aboran Oculus or Monastery Mentor surprises. Ooh, Jabrona. Let's go. She's in. This is the better one. Beautiful. Okay, so we're against the Demons deck. She does have a Throat, and now it's gone. Prof's Memory. Okay. I'll play Hallowed Fountain tapped and pass the turn. Second Mutavault, and they have the Unholy Annex. So this is a end of your turn. You draw 2 card and lose a life. If you control a demon, your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life instead. So this is currently going to hurt them, but will quickly help them instead. Ooh, 3 steps. That lets me counter the first demon, but they have Mutavault, so you actually don't even counter the first demon. They could just activate Mutavault in their end step if I don't apply enough pressure. Okay. +1 counter for Malcolm. Attack. We get a loot. Probably going to discard the other Malcolm unless something worse shows up. Oh, sick. I'm just going to reanimate Kiora now. We're doing it. We did it. We did it. Finally. I mean, I've been boarding out Helping Hand a lot. It's just kind of one of the clunkier things in the deck. Another Kiora. I'm going to discard Malcolm and Basic Island. And I'm going to play Deserted Beach and pass. Probably didn't need to play the beach, but I did. Yeah, if their plan is to just like activate Mutavault to turn on Unholy Annex, I am applying a lot of pressure here, but that's probably not their only plan. Thoughtseize, okay. Both of the cards in my hand are really good. They both trigger Prof's Memory. They both give me Threshold next combat. Took the backup Kiora. A red spell. Fable. That is not a demon, which means they're going to go to 8 here. All right. 3 steps. I can draw 2, discard 1. I could spend more mana to copy Kiora, which doesn't matter, and draw 2, discard 2. All right. I'm going to draw 2, discard a card. Ooh, okay. I'll discard Mox Amber, I guess. Then go to combat. The counters go into Malcolm. Present a lethal attack, so they have to block, and I get Squidward. Blocking's required. Malcolm triggers. Discard Hengegate Pathway. And I'm actually going to hold back this Hallowed Fountain as a loot option. I have mana for next turn. Opponent's got a lot of problems to solve right now. And they're at 3, which is the magic number for Monument. They have dealt 8 damage to themselves, 9 damage to themselves this game, which I appreciate as a tempo deck. They discarded a second Ritual Chamber, so they can just activate this and make a 6/6, which does not save them. They need to do something else with the 4 cards in hand. They do end up going to 5, so if they spend their 5 mana here, they get a 6/6 Demon token. They go to 5, drain me for 2 in the end step. But I'm still attacking for more than that. Okay, we are making a tapped Mutavault Demon and playing Shieldred. All right, she's pretty good. So they go to 7 here. Shieldred has Death Touch. I lose some life. I just win anyway because Shieldred doesn't fly. Here's the Mighty Monument. I guess I'll let them trade Shieldred. Might as well remove it. But I do win anyway. Sweet. The Monument for those final points. This Black Demons deck was popular for a little while in Pioneer. I just know that from following Magic people on social media. But looking at the front page of Goldfish, I can't even find the deck. It's like nowhere to be found unless I'm just missing it. Okay, Annul counters the Annex. I kind of just like Dennick. Maybe I like Dennick too much. Sheltered by Ghosts can remove really big things. Like Shieldred, like 6/6 Demon tokens. That Helping Hand was really good. This feels like a matchup where Skrelv could be good, but Skrelv has not been good at any point in this league yet. I don't know, I've just been pretty unimpressed by that card. My opponent saw multiple Helping Hands, including one that was really good, and they got hit with Squidward. So they might bring in Graveyard Hate here, which is an opportunity to juke a little. 1 Skrelv, 1 Helping Hand, just the the sampler platter, the maybe pile. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do it like this until I know more about their deck. But mono black is not good at removing artifacts historically. I'm in the market for a monument. Yuck. The one lander we were warned not to keep. I will mulligan it. Okay, I'll keep this one. And I think I'm going to bottom one of the Hallowed Fountains, even though having my third mana matters a lot in my hand. Yeah, Duress. I have 3 pretty good cards here. Monument is the one that's not a removal spell, if that's what they're worried about. Like, Get Lost could kill Unholy Annex. Monument is my engine in my deck, and Shelter by Ghost could kill a Shieldred or whatever, but so could Get Lost. I don't think they're going to take Shelter. It'll be Get Lost or Monument, depending on what they're worried about. Monument it is. I'll play Seachrome Coast, because I just drew a null. I guess 3 is where all their cool enchantments are. Maybe I was supposed to play Hallowed Fountain there. Yeah, I probably just cost myself 2 life by that sequence. Harvester, you got it. Okay, didn't end up hurting myself. Blue side pathway and pass. Now I could counter Annex or a Fable, or I can zap in Malcolm, whatever makes more sense. Harvester, getting in. Mutavault. The only card they don't know in my hand is the Annul. Another Harvester. All right, Malcolm, it's your time to shine, buddy. Go get him, big fella. Sheltering doesn't make sense here. Sheltering next turn could make sense. If I eat one of the Bloodtide Harvesters and get lost the other, then they can't just sack the one to get back the other. Right, I'll discard Hallowed Fountain. That's a card they already know about, and I drew Seachrome Coast for the turn. So I have a bunch of sweet removal. If they do proactively sack a Bloodtithe Harvester, then the Shelter just doesn't even work. Kind of a bummer. But whatever. Here come the beats. I don't think I can afford to get lost in combat yet, because if they play some 4-drop like Shieldred, I need to get that lost instead. Unlicensed Hearse. This is what I was talking about. I don't actually care about this card. I even have the Annul, but I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, end of turn, get Bloodtithe Harvester lost. I am being set up to get obliterated by Fatal Push, unfortunately. But I think I just have to play into it. This is the sequence I devised for myself. Red mana in response. Change their mind. Black mana in response. Oh wow. They knew I had Sheltered by Ghost and still let that happen. That's cool. Alright. Different creature? Shit. Alright. Probably gonna lose soon. That's not even necessarily true. They do have 5 power on board and the ability to move a lot of cards around. If I draw a creature and can shelter the Harvester, I could be back in this, but I am way behind at this point. A map hits Fear of Missing Out, also an enchantment, worth pointing out. Dump that. Oh, is this just Rakdos mid? And it's not even... Does Rakdos mid just play Unholy Annex now? They do. Okay. Yeah, I just misevaluated by game 1. They did show me a Sulphurous Springs, so I'm just in my own shit here. Okay. Never mind. I had all the information I needed here to know what my opponent was actually doing and just chose not to use it. Okay. But they played Fable game 1 too. What am I even talking about? I'm out of my mind. All right, I lose. Okay. Now I know what they are that I should have known the whole time. Confirmed Graveyard Hate in. I'm going to cut Helping Hand, get Denick in just as a body. Skrelv could be sweet here. They're a deck with like 8 spot removal spells plus the Harvesters. Yeah, Shelter is not as important as I thought it was. It's actually a pretty big liability. I'm still worried about Shieldred. I can get Shieldred lost. Maybe 1 Skrelv can be 1 Shelter. I'll split the difference the other way. I went 2-1. In game 2, I'll go 1-2 in game 3. I could bring in Disdainful Stroke, but it really only hits Shieldred in their deck. Annul is an all-star, though. I'll keep this hand. Keeping hands that do stuff. Tap Fountain, go. Thoughtseize, probably going to take Kiora. That's what I would take. Prof's Memory is the thing that curves out. I don't know. Up to them. They know their hand better than me. But Kiora is the card I would like to keep the most here. They found the line. Okay, blue pathway, Prof's Memory, draw a card, pass. Spell Pierce. That will be good going into their 3rd turn. But I have no pressure right now. Huge problem. Unlicensed Hearse. There it is. I have completely boarded out the cards that care about that. I am going to shock in Hallowed Fountain because I do have 3 mana worth of spells I'm likely to cast this turn. And Kiora still cares about Threshold for Unlicensed Hearse, but I'm completely out of helping hands. You got it. Oh yeah, the perfect turn. Spell Pierce this, play Malcolm. Alright, start turning this thing around. Spell Pierce. Malcolm, attack first. Loot into Rona. Okay. I think I'm going to discard Iganjo here and play Rona with Spell Pierce up. Now I have 2 real threats, and I can protect them a little bit. Unlicensed Hearse chewing up my graveyard. You can have it. Alright, Malcolm got torched. He's not the important creature. Shit. Alright, well, Spell Pierce got a lot worse. Efficient removal index. Who knew it could be good? Okay, I'm just going to pass. I'm going to hold Otawara. I think I'd rather it be an Otawara than an island this game. Blood Crypt. This means their good cards now beat Spell Pierce too. Some 5-drop. Please be a spell. Please be a spell. Oh yeah, let's go. Went straight to demon mode. Put that in the graveyard. Yeah, they could have gone into Unholy Annex mode. Trying to kill me though. Speaking of trying to kill me, my deck is also trying to kill me here. Opponent's down to 1 card in their hand, but I'm really not doing anything. If I find a Kiora who can loot these bad cards into good cards while also making Kiora bigger, that's cool. All right, well, now I have 2 of this thing. Might as well play out the first one. Extremely interested in finding a monument. That would be great. All right, they're starting to eat their own graveyard to make Unlicensed Hearse bigger. As soon as they crew that, I can get it lost. All right, Thoughtseize is going to take a get lost here. Same 2 get lost they saw off their first Thoughtseize. Rona. All right, well, I'll play her. Opponent has 2 cards in hand, and they did not play a creature or a land in the last several turns, which makes it likely that they have discard spell or removal spells. Yep, no surprises there. I guess if I had played Mox Amber first, then played Rona, I could have Otawara'd my Rona back if I'm willing to spend 3 cards to fizzle 1 Fatal Push. Graveyard Trespasser. Or discard a card. Well, I have a Mox Amber that's not doing much right now, and I am a discard deck, so this might be good. They did not crew the Hearse. I like that. I will go to my turn to see if I have to answer this Trespasser. Rona. Okay. You're going to get lost, and I'll discard Mox Amber to do it, and I'll play this Rona. Opponent's got 1 card in hand, and they have this giant Unlicensed Hearse. It is, of course, Fatal Push. If they draw any creature here, they're bashing me for like 10. And that will unlock their maps. I gotta hope that they draw like lands or Thoughtseizes from here on out. Uh-oh, mana in the pool. 3 mana in the pool. Oh, it's the best card they could possibly draw. All right, yeah. Literally, best draw in their entire deck. Any creature would have been pretty good. Like even Mutavault sends them into the roof here, and they just flip Mutavault off their first map. Like even Mutavault would have been great there, but hitting Fable is just fucko. And both maps hit 2 Mutavaults. Come on, get me. Hit me for 10. You've been doing the work. You deserve it. All right, I've lost this game now. We did basically just have a typical Jund back and forth exchange resources game for a while, but their deck is built to do this, and mine is mostly not. All right, GG. On to the final round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in the final round. Positive record on the line. I will keep. I have a 2-drop into Monument. Ooh, Chef at Dunes. white humans over there. Mono white humans. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Bleeding on Shefet Dooms means that they don't have an untapped land that doesn't hurt them in hand. This might be a one-lander, or they're a two-color deck. Okay. Azorius humans. Ooh, do I want to play Rona? Yes. All right, I'm going to play Rona. They do have open blue mana, but if they counter this, then they don't get to crack their clue this turn. And having a 1/3 on the ground is more important than a 2/1 in the air if I'm trying to stuff aggression. Resolute Reinforcements. Okay, so this is probably a Convoke deck of some kind. I'm in a hole. I'm in a deep hole of emotion. And they missed their land drop. So they did not have another white source, and they don't have another third land at all. Both are interesting facts. Okay, I'm going to play Mistgate Pathway and Monument. I think getting the Monument down is where I want to be right now. I can Malcolm plus Get Lost on future turns. I can 3 steps next turn if they don't let me Malcolm. Now we're cracking clues in the main phase. That's where they are. That means their hand is all spells, though. I'm going to have to get ahead of this somehow. I think I'm supposed to shock in Hallowed Fountain here, even though it's scary. Because removing a thing and getting Malcolm into play, especially if they Convoke out the Big O this turn, which they did not do. That's fine. Spyglass Siren. Is this worth countering? No, I'll shoot it with my Get Lost. This is a lot of maps they have access to. I'm going to have to live with it. If they try to put the map on the Siren, I can even fizzle the map. Let's go. All right. Well, we just sort of spun our wheels on that turn. Okay, that map fizzles, replaces itself with 2 other maps. If I have to Get Lost a 1/1, that was a pretty good way to do it. All right, Malcolm, get in here. Cause some damage. Monument to Endurance. Can this thing deal 17 damage before I take 8? Malcolm, get in. Loot. Amber versus land. I don't think I want the Amber. That's just a land that doesn't necessarily work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is... It costs 7 to counter a spell. 5 is counter loot. Alright, yeah, Mox Amber is not what I need here. Each opponent loses 3 life. The race is on. Blue side pathway and pass. Here I can counter a spell, loot, and drain them. Or kill 2 things. They're busting maps over there. Flood Farm Verge found, so they did replace their mana on that play. But the board state hasn't actually changed at all. Attacking me for 3 is fine. Warden of the Inner Sky has Flying and Vig. I can get this thing lost. Alright, that's going to have to be fine. It can tap itself and Portable Hole and map to do the thing immediately. Nurturing Pixie. This is what I was holding out for. 3 steps ahead. Counter, loot. Discard Seachrome Coast. This deals 3 to my opponent. Let's do math. 8. So they go to 8. I attack them to 6. I can loot them to 3. So they scry 1. If it has 3 or more counters on it, it has Flying and Vig. Scry to the bottom. Okay, I think I want to Kiora first, because if I hit Profs, I just win. Did not hit Profs, okay. Seachrome Coast, not part of the game, and Mistgate Pathway. I can drain them for 3, draw a card here. Draw a card, drain for 3. I'm still going to make a treasure this turn as well. Attack. They're at 3. Helping Hand. That could win me the game next turn. I'm going to discard Skrelv here. Skrelv can't block. It's not going to be part of the game. So I have Spell Pierce. I have Blocker, Spell Pierce, and Removal Spell available to me here. They got 6 cards in hand. I am making Squidward on my attack, but I'm pretty happy to block with Kiora because Helping Hand kills them. Just bring back Kiora, loot, GG. Then I don't even need Malcolm anymore. Another hole. So if I Spell Pierce this, that's the only thing they get to do this turn, and I can win with Kiora. I could even get lost my own Kiora and then reanimate her. Alright, I'm going to Spell Pierce. Counter target spell. They could have just paid 2 for Spell Pierce, but okay. You've countered my spell. I won't pay 4. Just showing off. Look at all these cards I have in my hand. Hey, Malcolm's gone. We don't need him where we're going. Okay, scrying with the Warden. That's fine. Attacking with everything. Block the Warden. It doesn't fly yet. I go to 2. I go to my turn, reanimate, win. Not even going to show them a get lost. Or I showed them one already. Never mind. But I'm not going to show them another one. Helping Hand. A loot. Discard Rona and Kiora. I'd like you to lose 3 life. And I'd like to draw a card. Bang! Yeah, just going straight to the dome on that is sweet. Sheltered by Ghost coming in. A null does counter the portable hole. I like Denick just for the body. It looked like most of their creatures. We saw Spyglass Siren and that weird counterspell as blue cards. I'm sure I could look up this deck, but I'm not going to. Skrelv doesn't block, and that seems like the most important thing to be doing in this matchup. As we saw in round 1, Knockout Blow, even if I spend 3 mana on it, could be an important swing here. And I think Spell Pierce can back off against this mostly creature deck. I'm just going to do this small change, and if I get significantly different information game 2, I could make more changes, but I mostly want my deck to continue to function. Okay, great hand. A Plains, a 3-man Inspector. They took 2 damage off Sheffet Dunes last game, and I did draw the last Monument on the last turn, or a second Monument on the last turn, so I would have been able to overcome an extra 2 life, but I did kill them for Xaxes if I didn't draw that thing. I don't know what spells they're going to have here. Yeah, Spyglass Siren, not a spell that I can pierce. Unpierceable. Alright, lots of shitter donkeys in play. Ooh, Rona. Well, I gotta believe in the Rona of Arc. She's having wicked dreams of leaving Tennessee. Mapped a Flood Farm Verge into the hand. They can push 2 damage here, but I am going to block. I'll save the point I can save. This is why I played this creature instead of Malcolm. Okay, and I've successfully untapped Denick, the boy. Alright, I'm going to play Hallowed Fountain untapped because the lifelink body I am hoping will undo the damage. Do I loot here, I guess, is the question. I like every card in my hand. I could attack for 1. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Attack for 1. I knew there was some value to be gained here. I'm casting Denick. Trying to get control of the situation. Even like Denick holding a couple counters off Prof's memory is enough. And if they have their silly counterspell, I can Spell Pierce it. Getting revenge for when they counterspelled my Spell Pierce last turn. Okay. None of that happened. Clue token. Sure. I love when the aggro deck, as early as turn 3, is already cracking maps and clue tokens instead of casting the 6 spells in their hand. Flood Farm Verge. Just Spyglass Siren is the attack here. There's no other action. Nurturing Pixie. This can pick up Spyglass Siren, probably. There it goes. Pixie's a 2/2. Siren's back. And I would like to find my 4th land. Double spelling next turn would be a big deal. Warden of the Sky. That thing's good. Or the Inner Sky. The Skyward Eye. Warden of the Skyward Eye is a different card. I think that's from Shards of Alara. It's like a grizzly bear with an insane pump ability. Like cost 4 to give it +2/+2 or something. Which, believe it or not, was actually good in its limited format. Right, they have the Big O. There's the Big O. Alright, I will loot with Rona in response and pretend I can do anything about this. Redundant Rona's gone. A Knight Errant. When this enters, look at your top 6 cards. You can reveal 2 creature cards with mana value X or less, where X is the number of creatures that convoke this. So they convoked it with, I think, 3 creatures. Or was it 4? Maybe it's 4. Yeah, they convoked it with 4. Alright, I'm going to have to kick an engine in big time this turn. But Denick wearing many counters from Prof's memory might be how I do this. Oh, Mox Amber, let's go. Okay, loot. Okay, this is tricky now. I'm going to discard Spell Pierce. I think we're past that. And then I'm going to play Monument. Because now with double Amber, I can still play Prof's memory this turn. Amber. Untap Rona. Loot. Discard Malcolm. I would like... and these are all happening. I'll start by drawing a card. Found a land. Alright, float a blue. Play another Amber. Take this one. Loot. Discard. How many 3 steps am I actually going to play this turn, or this game? I will discard a 3 steps and make a treasure. And then blue play Prof's Memory. This draws a card. Deserted Beach. Okay, good. Now I can loot away this Hengegate pathway without feeling bad about it, or Seachrome Coast is even worse. Each opponent loses 3 life. Deserted Beach. I think I want to put Sheltered by Ghosts on Rona. Sheltered by Ghosts, target Rona. Exile Knight Errant. Move to combat. Dennick is fudge-normous. Plus 6 counters. 8 lifelink coming in. Let's go. Combo pivot. Opponent's at 7. I got a lot going on. I got a lot of life. Warden and Thraben Inspector were the cards they grabbed off their boy. Warden, Inspector. I think if I untap with this 3 steps, I can't lose. All right, another Warden. I don't care about any of this stuff. They're pumping up this Warden, the one that's already has some pumps on it, and they have 3 creatures with Summoning Sickness. If they want to pump it again, they could give it Flying Invig. But Rona's going to go pretty ham again, and they still have to deal with this Dennick. I could also just transform Rona, and she's a 6/5. All right, they have another Knight Errant. That's just not really even good enough. They hit Novice Inspector and Resolute Reinforcements were both popping off, but my thing is way better than theirs in the head-to-head, just structural mirror. They get to exile a card from a graveyard with Veteran Survivor. I don't know if that card is in their main deck or if they boarded it in, but either way, we got them. Because I don't care that much about it. And we go to my turn, looking for Legends. Okay, so I just win. 3 steps on my turn, 3 steps on your turn. Or 3 steps on my turn, tap Rona on your turn. They both do it. Okay, I'm gonna... Hold on. Can I actually copy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. If I use Rona, I could copy. But then I'm just getting too fancy. All right. Draw 2, discard. I'll discard Basic Island. Each opponent loses 3 life. I will play this land, which represents Counterspell. Extra counters on Dennick. Dennick must be blocked because you're dead, but you're also just dead. They would have to remove Monument at instant speed through a counterspell, or gain life at instant speed through a counterspell. And I know both cards in their hand. They would have to clue into something. All right. Yeah, I'll just go to their turn and tap Rona. Loot. Discard Plains. I'd like you to lose 3 life. That was the best showcase of the whole league. That board state where they convoked out a early Knight Errant and then it just didn't matter and they were miles behind from just I started that turn with Rona and some lands in play and it ended with dominating board presence. That was awesome. Okay, a positive record. We did some cool stuff. The strengths of this deck are, of course, you see so many cards. Almost every card in this deck says draw and discard on it or just straight up draw on it. It's really easy to keep hands. Any hand with 2 mana and any of these things is a keep. And these are most of the things in the deck. It sucks you have to play Get Lost, but this might just be a Pioneer problem. Removal just isn't good in the format. The maps mattered in almost every matchup that I gave them to my opponent, but still, this card was definitely worth the white splash. Maybe I just didn't play the matchups for it, but Skrelv felt pretty bad the whole time. There was one game where Skrelv being legendary was my second mana to get Rona into play off of Mox Amber. It kind of made a hand more keepable. But I don't know. I think you could play without this card. 3 steps ahead was dope. Every mode matters in this deck. If we cut Skrelv, maybe we play 4 3 steps. The helping hand, really the only creature in the deck that I want to bring back is Kiora. There were a bunch of situations where I had the second Malcolm in the graveyard and reanimating it would just legend roll something, or the creatures were all too small to impact the board meaningfully. In a deck with this much looting could definitely support a Boron Oculus if you want to lean a little more into the helping hand, loot, and reanimate stuff. Obviously, a Boron Oculus is not fun or sexy. It is just an insane rate thing if you support it. It's not a legend, but not every card in the deck has to be a legend. I think if I was going to keep exploring this, I would cut the Skrelvs, and play like 2 Aboran Oculus and maybe a third 3 steps. Skrelv, the text on Skrelv was not relevant. The being a legend on Skrelv from Mox Amber was relevant once, and being a legend on Skrelv for untapping Rona was not relevant either, or not necessary. Yeah, I think Skrelv is the weak link, and just getting a little more beef, a little sidestep. Of course, having a Aboran Oculus in your deck does actually make the graveyard hate that we juked off of. Like, we cut Helping Hand in almost every round, and then opponents boarded in stuff like that Survivor Idiot that my last opponent had, and Unlicensed Hearse, etc. Graveyard Trespasser were all cards we played against. Oculus actually does care about those cards a little bit, so that's like a weakness in overall high-level sideboard mapping, but the card is just really good. That's the only feedback I have, though, and it's like 3 slots on the fringes. The core deck was a lot of fun. Obviously, having Monument in play versus not having Monument in play creates completely different board states, but when you do have Monument in play, the game ends very quickly. Thanks to Something Snazzy for that advice to drain first and get the game over with, because I would have been drawing cards this entire league and just try to outvalue when just killing them dead made a lot of sense. I'm going to leave this one here. Very happy with this outing. Something Snazzy, thank you for sharing this with us. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I will see you next time.